Hello students and welcome to the class of Standard 7, subject History. Today we will continue the second half of the lesson, the foundation of the Swaraj. This is the fifth lesson in your textbook, part 2, presented by Sara Pereira. Towards the establishment of Swaraj. The forts situated within the Jagir of Shivaji Maharaj were not under his control, but were under the control of Adil Shah. We know this because Shivaji Maharaj's father, Shahaji Raje, was just a Sardar under the rule of Adil Shah. So the Sardars, what do? They usually fight for the king or the emperor. They were capturing the forts for them, and then the fort was ultimately under the Adil Shahi. The Adil Shahi would then reward any particular Jagir to that Sardar. So Shivaji Maharaj also was under Adil Shah up till now. So all the forts that were there in the territory in the Jagir of Shivaji Maharaj also were all under Adil Shah. In those days, forts were of special significance. With a firm hold over a fort, it was possible to control the surrounding area because if you see the forts also, they were built in such a way that if you stay inside the fort, you could be protected from all the enemies. Nobody could harm you easily. But you, if you were in the fort, you could easily attack others because you could hide in your own fort and you could attack the army. So this is how the forts were of great importance because the whole surrounding area could be controlled. If one had forts, one ruled the land. Therefore, Shivaji Maharaj decided to acquire the forts that were within his own Jagir. He did not first go directly to capture any other forts, but whichever forts were under his Jagir, in his Jagir, and under Adil Shah, he thought that let me first take these forts under my control. Okay, so that the whole Jagir will also be mine and the fort will also be mine. Such an attempt to capture the forts the challenge, challenging amounted to challenging the Adil Shahi power. Okay, because Adil Shah was the head, and when Shivaji Maharaj was trying to capture his forts, he was in a way rebelling against Adil Shah, and he was challenging Adil Shah's power because Adil Shah was very powerful. He was the head, he was the emperor, and all these people, all these Sardars were under him. So Shivaji Maharaj was the first one to uh, to retaliate against Adil Shah, or he was the first one who decided to capture the forts. And he captured the forts of Torana, Muramdev, Kondhana, and Purandar, and laid the foundation of Swaraj. Laid the foundation is what? The base of Swaraj. Okay, first thing that he did was he captured the forts. Okay, rest of the thing were to be done later on, fighting the enemies, fighting the Mughals, all this would be done later. But the first thing that he did was he took all the forts in his jagirs from the Adil Shahi, and this is how he laid the foundation stone. He repaired the fort Muramdev and renamed it Rajgarh. Rajgarh was the first capital of the Swaraj. There were the Mores of Javali, the Ghorpades of Mudhol, the Savants of Savantwadi, and other Sardars in the Adil Shahi. They were opposed to the cause of founding the Swaraj. They were happy with what they had and they did not want anything more. So they were not supporting Shivaji Maharaj. They were opposing him. And they also thought that it is going to be very difficult if we go against Adil Shah. Otherwise, Adil Shah would simply destroy them. So they were actually afraid of joining Shivaji Maharaj. And so this Mores of Javali, the Ghorpades of Mudhol, the Savants of Savantwadi, and other Sardars in the Adil Shahi, they were opposing Shivaji Maharaj only because they were afraid of Adil Shah also and they did not want to simply challenge him. It was necessary to bring them and other like-minded Sardars under control for the purpose of founding the Swaraj because Adil Shah was also an outsider. He was again a foreign power. So Shivaji Maharaj thought that it is very important that all the Sardars should come together. All the Sardars who are Marathas, they should unite together, and then if Swaraj is found, then they can get opportunity to rule their own kingdom. Okay, nobody would force them, or they would not have to work under Adil Shah or any other power. So Shivaji Maharaj's first attempt was to bring all these sardars, all these like-minded sardars together, and for that purpose, first he started having mutual talks. Okay, he did try to convince them on different levels, but then when they were not listening to him, or when they were not supporting him, then he had to take action, or he had to take another step. What he did, that we will see further. The capture of Javali. Chandrarav More of Javali in Satara district was a powerful Sardar in the Adil Shahi. He opposed the founding of the Swaraj. Shivaji Maharaj attacked Javali and captured that region in 1656. He established his post there. Then he also captured Raigad. He attained a huge amount of wealth from Javali. After this victory, his activities in Konkan increased. Okay, Shivaji Maharaj, I told you all. First, he tried to have mutual talks. He tried to convince them. But when they were not ready to listen, he had to forcefully attack on them and capture their lands. And this is how he wanted to show the people that we Marathas are not less than anybody, and we have the power, we have the ability to have our Swaraj, rule ourselves. Okay, so Shivaji Maharaj, when he captured Javali, that time uh, Javali or Chandra Rao More, who was a Sardar of Javali of the Satara district, he was powerful. He was powerful, but Shivaji Maharaj's training was very different. Okay, his associates were also very powerful. Shivaji Maharaj was very skilled. Nobody could easily defeat him. Nobody could easily fight him. So when Shivaji Maharaj attacked the powerful region of Javali, also he was successful and he was victorious. Nobody could defeat him, nobody could stand against him. And when he attacked that region, he captured that region and he established his post there. Post is where he put his people there, okay, and he established his place there. And then he also captured Raigad Fort. I told you all that his main mission also was to capture forts. The more forts he had, the more powerful people would think he was. So more and more forts he tried to bring under his rule, and a lot of wealth he got from this region. After his victory, his activities in Konkan increased because now people also got to know how powerful Shivaji Maharaj is. So Shivaji Maharaj was not going to stop now. He kept on these activities of capturing forts. He built the Pratapgarh fort in the Javali valley. In this way, the conquest of Javali increased his strength in all respects. After this, Shivaji Maharaj captured Kalyan and Bhivandi on the Konkan coast. Okay, so whichever coastal regions were there, whichever territories came in his way while he was capturing the forts, and whichever he thought are easy to be captured, he went on capturing them. Okay, this was ultimately growing his power. This was ultimately making him strong because then he was getting more people under him. He was getting more forts under him. He was getting more wealth under him. So his strength also increased in all the respects. There, when he went to the Konkan region at the Kalyan, Bhivandi, and the other Konkan areas, he came in contact with the Siddhi, Portuguese, and British powers on the western coast. The western coast of the country of India was ruled by the foreigners, the British, Dutch, Portuguese. Okay, there were Siddhis also, and Shivaji Maharaj had not come across these powers so far. So when he went there and he saw these foreign powers, he realized that in order to fight these powers, it was necessary to have a strong naval force because these foreigners had come with the sea route only. They had a strong navy. They, whatever transport they were doing or whatever trade they were having, they were doing it with a sea route. So they had a very strong navy. They had so many ships and they had so many uh, army, okay, the navy, who would fight for them. So Shivaji Maharaj thought that if I have to fight these people, then I will have to have a strong navy. And for that purpose, he concentrated on building a navy. He had a strong army already. He had all the associates who would fight for him in any battle. So he was very strong. But Shivaji Maharaj was always focusing on increasing his ability, increasing his power. And so this time he decided that he would focus more on the navy. And so he started building new ships. He started um, building different big, large, and small ships which would help him to uh, fight on the naval grounds. And he also started training people and started increasing more naval power in his army. Okay, so this is how Shivaji Maharaj started establishing Swaraj. Defeat of Afzal Khan. Shivaji Maharaj had started capturing the forts in his Jagir and the surrounding area in the Adil Shahi territory. He had crushed the opposition of the Moores of Javali. The work of founding the Swaraj had gathered momentum on the Konkan coast. All these matters were a challenge to the Adil Shahi. At that time, the Badi Sahiba was looking after the administration of the Adil Shahi. She sent Afzal Khan, a powerful and experienced Adil Shahi general, to curb Shivaji Maharaj. Curb is what? To somehow defeat Shivaji Maharaj, because Badi Sahiba, who was at that time, she was looking after the administration of the Adil Shahi, and she saw that Shivaji's power was increasing day by day. Shivaji was capturing all the forts, Shivaji was easily destroying the Sardars, and he had become very powerful. So this she would not accept easily. And for that purpose, she wanted to destroy Shivaji Maharaj, she wanted to kill Shivaji Maharaj. And so she appointed Afzal Khan for this work. Afzal Khan came from Bijapur to Vai. He knew the Vai region well. A meeting of Shivaji Maharaj and Afzal Khan took place on 10th November 1659 at the foot of Pratapgarh near Vai. So Afzal Khan, he had actually plotted a plan. He had called Shivaji Maharaj to have friendly meeting. Okay, he said that we will meet together, we will have a meal together. Okay, and we will have friendly talks. Earlier Shivaji Maharaj was having this thought that it is not safe to go to Afzal Khan, or Afzal Khan will be having a plan already. But Shivaji Maharaj was prepared, and for any friendly talk he would never say no. So Shivaji Maharaj agreed to go to Afzal Khan. Shivaji's companions were also telling him that it is not safe to go alone. Okay, we will come with you. But Shivaji Maharaj had taken his few associates with him, but the meeting was supposed to happen only between Afzal Khan and Shivaji Maharaj. Afzal Khan said that we will not bring our army, we will not bring any other associates also. We both will have to sit together, and we will have a meeting. So Shivaji Maharaj agreed for this, and he had brought his associates with him, but they were waiting outside. And inside went Shivaji Maharaj alone to meet Afzal Khan. If you see in the image, Afzal Khan was very, very huge, very strong, and Shivaji Maharaj was strong, no doubt, but Afzal Khan was even more powerful. He was very healthy also. Uh, Physically also, he was quite huge and quite different from Shivaji Maharaj. At the meeting, Afzal Khan attempted treachery. Treachery is where he tried to betray Shivaji Maharaj. He tried to hug Shivaji Maharaj and call it a friendly meet. And when Shivaji Maharaj was just about to hug him, Afzal Khan tried to stab him with his knife in the back. Shivaji Maharaj had already, he was aware that something is definitely going to happen. So he was prepared for that. He had already put a cover or pad at his back so he would not get stamped by Afzal Khan. And in return, Shivaji Maharaj removed his weapon, and he retaliated. He killed Afzal Khan, and he routed the Adil Shahi army. Shivaji Maharaj paid compensation to the soldiers who were wounded in the battle, because Shivaji Maharaj's associates had already come. When they got about the news that Afzal Khan has cheated on Shivaji Maharaj and he has tried to kill Shivaji Maharaj. And when Afzal Khan's people got to know that Shivaji has killed Afzal Khan, so there began a battle between both the armies and both the parties. And in this battle, Shivaji Maharaj won definitely, but he was very kind, very generous. So he also paid compensation to the he rewarded the ones who fought well. He paid compensation to the soldiers who were wounded, and those soldiers and officers of Afzal Khan's army who fell into the hands of Shivaji Maharaj's army were given a good treatment. They did not loot them, they did not kill them, but they tried to give them treatment also. And Shivaji Maharaj was very kind. So as he treated his own army, he also treated the army of uh, Afzal Khan with a lot of respect. He gave them medicine, he gave them proper treatment, and then they were sent back. Or no, they were kept in Shivaji's power only. But this is how the defeat of Afzal Khan took place. The expedition of Siddhi Johar. After the annihilation of Afzal Khan, Shivaji Maharaj captured the Adil Shahi forts of Panhala, Vasantgarh, and Kelna. He named Kelna as Vishalgarh. Shivaji Maharaj had posed a big challenge before the Adil Shahi. Therefore, the Adil Shah sent Siddhi Johar, the Sardar of the Karnal region, against Shivaji Maharaj in 1660. The Adil Shah gave Siddhi the title Salabat Khan. Rustam-e-Jaman, Baji Ghorpade, and Afzal Khan's son Fazl Khan were also there to help Siddhi Johar. In these circumstances, Shivaji Maharaj took shelter in the Panhala fort. When Shivaji Maharaj got to know that so many Sardars are sent by Adil Shah and they have come to defeat Shivaji Maharaj took shelter in one of his forts, that is Panhala fort, and Shivaji Maharaj stayed inside the fort. And this time Adil Shah was very upset and very angry with Shivaji because Shivaji Maharaj had already taken many forts, and he had also defeated, or he had also killed Afzal Khan, a very powerful person. So this time Adil Shah sent more people, more Sardar, and especially he sent Siddhi Johar. Siddhi Johar was a very powerful one. So when all these Sardars had come to fight against Shivaji Maharaj, he took shelter in Panhala fort. Siddhi's soldiers laid a siege to the fort for about 5 months. For about 5 months, they had laid a siege. Siege is where they lay their tents outside the fort and they wait for the king to come outside so that they can attack. Okay, and somehow they stay outside so that nobody from the fort can go in or out. So if they are not getting food grain on time, if they are not getting proper supply on time, then ultimately they will have to surrender. So this is the entire concept behind laying the siege. So Siddhi Johar's army had laid siege outside the Panhala fort, waiting for Shivaji Maharaj for 5 months. Shivaji Maharaj found himself trapped inside the fort. Netoji Palkar tried to raise the siege by attacking Siddhi's army from outside, but he couldn't succeed in it as his force were meager. Okay, Netoji Palkar, he was outside, and when he got the news that Shivaji Maharaj is trapped inside the fort and there is a siege outside, he tried to distract the army from Siddhi Johar's army from outside. But he was not successful because his army was very little and Siddhi Johar's army was very much. They were more in number. Siddhi showed no signs of relenting. So Shivaji Maharaj opened talks with him. Shivaji Maharaj realized that if he is not going to give up, I will have to start talking with him. I will have to ask what demands he have, what he wants exactly. So he started open talks. This led to slackness in the siege around Panhalgarh. When Shivaji Maharaj started talks, slowly the army also after 5 months they had become little relaxed. They had become the zeal that they had, the determination that they had slacked a little, and Shivaji Maharaj took advantage of this situation. On this occasion, Shiva Kashid, a brave youth, came forward. He resembled Shivaji Maharaj in looks. Resembled is he looked similar to Shivaji Maharaj. He dressed up like Shivaji Maharaj and sat in a palanquin. You can see it in the image that he sat in the palanquin and he left. And the Siddhi Johar, he thought that he was Shivaji Maharaj only. The palanquin left by the Dindi gate. It was captured by the Siddhi's army. It was a difficult situation. Shiva Kashid sacrificed himself on this occasion for Swaraj. Okay, the army, they killed Shiva Kashid thinking that he was Shivaji Maharaj, but he was actually not Shivaji Maharaj. In meanwhile, Shivaji Maharaj left the fort using another difficult route. Every fort, we know that they are having secret routes or uh, secret ways to escape. So Shivaji Maharaj escaped from that secret route. He was accompanied by Baji Prabhu Deshpande, Deshmukh, and some chosen soldiers. The Siddhi came to know that Shivaji Maharaj has escaped the siege round Panhalgarh and proceeded to Vishalgarh. His army pursued Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj entrusted the responsibility of stopping Siddhi's army at the foot of Vishalgarh to Baji Prabhu Deshpande. Baji Prabhu Deshpande checked Siddhi's army at the Kod pass near Gajapur. He fought with the greatest valor. Baji Prabhu died a hero's death in this battle. Because Baji Prabhu's army held Siddhi's army at bay, Shivaji Maharaj could proceed to Vishalgarh. While going to Vishalgarh, Maharaj also crushed the opposition of the Adil Shahi Sardars, Dalvi of Palwan and Surve of Shringarpur. Maharaj reached Vishalgarh safely. And while Shivaji Maharaj was trapped at Panhala, Aurangzeb, who had ascended the throne of Delhi, had sent Shaista Khan, a Mughal Sardar, to the Deccan. He had invaded the Pune province. The conflict with Adil Shahi continued even as the Mughal army invaded the Swaraj. Maharaj realized that it would not be prudent to fight two enemies at one and the same time. Therefore, after reaching Vishalgarh safely, he entered into a treaty with the Adil Shah. As per the treaty, he returned the fort of Panhala to the Adil Shah. With this, we end the lesson here. I hope you understood the lesson. Thank you.